What a thrill to have you with us. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. My pleasure.
I'm going to tell people a little about you. Shyla US was born and raised in India and now lives in Chennai, I believe. Could you pronounce that for me so we're clear?
Chennai, formerly Madras.
Thank you so much. And I know that you were educated in India and you have a business as Vetvayas, which is actually about inner space. And you have helped individuals and groups to improve how they deal with relationships, both personal and business. And there are similarities. Your practice is with nonviolent communication, and we will discuss these similarities tonight. I'm really thrilled. So we get to go into your passion and how you were introduced to nonviolent communication.
Yes.
Would you mind sharing with us how that came about?
I was actually going through a very difficult phase in my life. I had lost my son. He was 8 when he died, and I was kind of bellowed by all the turbulences that happened at that point in time. When a particular friend of mine introduced me to nonviolent communication, he said that it would be really life-changing for me to understand the NVC and to know more about NVC. So that's when I went for Dr. Marshall Rosenberg's session in Pune in India. It was a 10-day IIT session, and that's when I first came into NVC.
How beautiful. What comes up for me when I hear that is the joy of learning, gaining the knowledge of nonviolent communication, and the peace that we learn that we can come to within ourselves. I imagine you found that very helpful as well.
Yes, I did. I think I moved from being a victim to learning to take charge of who I am.
Very empowering.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I love this. Well, let's explore some more. I know that you also are focused, and in this program, I know you'd like to provide some nuggets for helping people to understand compassion and coping with the pressures that we face in our daily lives. And so I wonder if you could give us kind of like a briefing about your experience with how this is working out as well in your life.
Some of the things I really learned in this nonviolent communication was I moved away from stereotypes of violence. I first assumed that violence was when somebody beat you up or when there was a lot of physical violence. But I later realized violence can be very subtle, can be very invisible, but absolutely palpable. For example, I realized as a parent I could have been very violent with my kids when I don't understand their needs, when I don't understand which values they're coming from and what is it that they really want. So my ability to listen to the unspoken, that increased a great deal. Not just with my children, but with anyone I came across with. So listening ability went really high for me. Listening to the unmet need or listening to what the person really cannot or is not able to say, that really helped me a great deal with NVC. Moreover, it helped me, as a natural fallout, it happened that most relationships from then on actually became very smooth because there was no demands. And it was only from my side to understand what is this person really needing without probably not being able to say so.
So just by that, it sounds so easy, but the listening
Yes.
and hearing the need behind
True.
the yes behind the no, the pain behind the no, and
Yes.
oh, I love that. It made right there just your life itself more enjoyable by that understanding how our words can get in the way, let alone how deep it goes, where it even affects the consciousness of our thoughts.
Very true.
So this leads me into this little exploration of a question, and that is, how do you see yourself in connecting with religion today in India, nonviolent communication?
Typically in India, we have this philosophy, this concept of ahimsa. Ahimsa means nonviolence, which I think was propagated mainly all around the world through Gandhiji. But even before Gandhi was there, ahimsa was one of the tenets of Hinduism. It simply means being non-hurtful. Okay, and non-hurtful not just to human beings, but to any sentient being. So, me included. Typically, you would find a lot of people, they would think twice or maybe 10 times before I even hurt another person. But in the bargain, I end up hurting myself. This was one aspect that I learned from NVC, which, it's a lot more easier to take care of the others than to take care of yourself. So at least for me, it was a major learning where I would forget to take care of my needs or my wants, or even to stop and listen to what I have to say for myself, to listen to my own thoughts. So even today in the Indian religion, you have what is called Tattvamasi. That means there is an Atma in myself, and I need to respect that. So there are a lot of similarities like this, which talks about self-worth is the beginning where I can, start respecting someone else. Only if I respect myself will I be able to respect someone else.
I love that. Well, there you hear the truth. Thank you. There you go. Well, I know now we've touched, I wonder if we could explore this Hinduism, and can you give us a briefing on Hinduism?
Hinduism